Now, what happens when you remove the shield or the commonality here and give it as a floating sensor? The same CX it works, and in this case, instead of being connected to a ground like we saw in the previous grounded sensors, they are connected to a fixed voltage supply in the or a fixed capacitance supply or a fixed input, which is called EXC. So this is the excitation voltage, right, which is given as the common point. Right now, how do we understand what is the excitation voltage? So let this be the total full scale of voltage available. For example, calling it so 0 to V full scale. Now, when you ground it, your reference is 0, right? Same thing. So any value that you see at the voltage has got this voltage reference. So suppose the voltage that you observe at the input is present here on the full scale value, the referred voltage will be to the ground here. Now instead, when you have a floating power supply, let your floating reference voltage be present here. So this is your EXC. So instead of having a large voltage excursion from the difference, your point will be referred to this value. So EXC is going to be your reference point below which. Now, what happens to this voltage in floating sensor? This voltage is not going to be used, and this can be either calibrated out or nullified and taken care of. So these are the two different ways in which a floating sensor works and how a grounded sensor works. The other commonality with respect to Cx and Cy remains the same here, and C and the effective C in is given as C in plus minus of C in minus, which translates to Cx minus Cy, which further translates to the C norm getting reduced as in the previous case, C norm plus delta Cx, and this is C norm plus delta Cy. So here this in Fx becomes delta Cx minus delta Cy. So this is how the operation of a floating sensor works in comparison. But if you see, the effective value is going to be the same, right? The difference that we capture is going to be the same. Only the difference in the previous grounded sensor and floating sensor would be the absolute value of difference that you come across. So this is going to be grounded, whereas this is going to be your floating.